From the roar of the crowd to the roar of the engines, this is Pit Pass.
Pit Pass is brought to you by Jake's Karts. Here's your host, Ron Fox.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Pit Pass. I didn't get to see much racing this past weekend. On Friday, I had commitments to tend to, and Saturday was questionable everywhere I looked. But it did give me a chance to recharge my batteries, if you will. Also allows me to bring you some interviews that I've wanted to show. However, I did make the trip to Port Royal Speedway on Thursday to catch one of the last races of this year's Appalachian Speedweek Series for the super late models. 40 cars showed up for Day 6 of the Speedweek Series. In the 40-lap main event, Matt Parks in the black 15 shot to the lead from the pole position. Quickly, a battle for second place ensues with Dan Stone in the 2, gaining the spot over outside pole sitter Jeremy Miller in the number 1 machine. Austin Hubbard in the white 19, who had won the previous 2 nights at Williams Grove and Lincoln, gets around Miller in turn 4 to take the 3rd spot before 1 lap is completed. 2 laps in, we have the 3 of Tim Wilson pressuring Dylan Yoder for the 7th spot. As they work their way through 3 and 4, the 2J of Jeff Ryan works the bottom to join the mix. Ryan set fast time, but had to start in the 9th position. Just then, the yellow flies for Miller, who has dropped the drive shaft and comes to a stop in turn 2. During a lap 5 caution, Jamie Latham in the white number 6 pits to change a tire and tags on to the back of the field. As he had during the previous caution, Parks has no problem in opening up his lead over Stone on the restart. In turn 2, Stone pushes high, allowing Hubbard to move underneath and into 2nd place. Kenny Pettyjohn in the 100 also looks to gain a spot on Stone. The track proved to be very raceable, as you can see here, as Derek Byler is able to take a position away from the 17 of Nick Dixon. He then powers his way past Dylan Yoder on lap 10. As for the leaders, Parks would continually work the high side, while Hubbard would try it low to gain on Parks. However, Parks would use the momentum to distance himself from the 19. Cautions on lap 13 and 14 bunched the field, yet Hubbard was no match for Parks. Stone was still running in 3rd place, with Pettyjohn in 4th. One driver charging through the field was Jason Covert. Here he has already gotten by Vic Coffey for 5th after starting 13th. Latham probably had the fastest car of the evening. Even after his earlier pit stop, he wasted no time in slicing his way through the field. Here Covert muscles his way past Pettyjohn and up to the 4th position as they exit turn 4. As for Parks and Hubbard, same old story. Hubbard goes low, Parks goes high and maintains the top spot. Latham continued to pick off cars. Here he has already taken 7th from Coffey and sets his sights on Ryan for the 6th position as they exit the 4th turn. At the head of the field, Parks continues to hold off Hubbard lap after lap. Latham's charge to the front continues with this pass of Covert for the 4th position. However, a couple of laps later, Latham spins in turn 4. Covert stops to avoid hitting him. Both go to the tail of the field, although with only 4 laps to go, several cars have ended their nights early. A lap into the restart, Hubbard can't catch Parks, but Coffey is able to squeeze by Pettyjohn for the 4th spot on the front stretch. Then DJ Myers tries to pass the 100, but ends up in the wall instead. Dylan Yoder's night ends with 2 laps to go, setting up a shootout between Parks and Hubbard. The 19 takes a shot on the restart, close but no cigar. He tries in turn 4, again not enough to catch Parks. Hubbard tries his best on the last lap, but Matt Parks holds him off to collect the $5,000 winner's check. Matt, I mean no disrespect, but I'm sure you weren't considered one of the favorites even though you started on the pole. There were some big names and some big dollars behind you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say we was definitely the underdog tonight, but I got to thank my mom and dad. They've always had me in good equipment, good stuff. And finally the ball kind of went my way tonight. Had Lady Luck on our side, got to start up front. We come out of the trailer, we time trialed 3rd quickest, I believe, overall. We was in the 2nd session, so the car was real good out of the trailer. But yeah, starting up there with Jeremy Miller and Austin Hubbard, Covert, all those guys, Yeah, I was looking in my rearview mirror, you know, so to speak, waiting for them to come by. But the car was real good, like I say, and we were able to hold them off.
Certainly the biggest win of your career, I'm sure.
Absolutely. I was trying to think of this is my third late model win overall. We won track championship in the limited, but this late model stuff, it's definitely a different class.
And like you said, you had guys like Miller beside you, Hubbard starting right behind you. It seems like you had the car working on the top side. He tried to get you on the low side. He just couldn't pull it off.
Yeah, I think I was able to keep my momentum up around the top there, and he had to pinch his car off and killed his momentum, and I would walk away on the corners. Hershey engine, it pulled strong down the straightaways. Hoosier tires, they were there all night. I mean, they fired real well, and it lasted the entire race.
Like I said, you timed third quickest, so it wasn't that big of a surprise, but are you still a little surprised?
Oh, it'll probably hit me in the morning, but yeah, it was. I was definitely maybe a little emotional in the car there on checkered flag, but definitely a big win.
So it's Parks and Hubbard finishing 1 and 2. Dan Stone came home third. Vic Coffey was fourth, and Jamie Latham, whom officials say passed 72 cars on the night, charged up to 5th place. Hubbard, on the strength of 2 wins and top finishes, won the series title over Vic Coffey, Jason Covert, Dan Stone, who won the finale at Bedford, and Jamie Latham. And in the 15-lap Pro Stock feature at Port Royal on Thursday, Dan Barry took the checkers over Brian Towsey, Keith Garman, Devin Fry, and Josh Angle. Coming up next, I speak with one of the region's most successful street stock drivers, Brian Duffy. That and more when Pit Pass returns.
Family fun starts at Jake's Karts. Choose a kart from their showroom or have one custom built to your specifications. Custom paint, lift kits, wheels, tires, and rear seats are just a few options. Go ahead, shake it up. Whether you are camping or trail riding on any terrain, Jake's Karts has the perfect kart your whole family will enjoy. Stop in today for a test drive. Financing available for qualified buyers. Jake's Karts, Route 522 McBaytown, online at jakeskarts.com.